Hello, welcome to the Business Dashboard on Citi TV. My name is Kweku Ediama Answer. Coming up ahead of the 31st July deadline for the SIM card re-registration exercise, the Mobile Money Agents Association of Ghana appeals to government to consider an extension. Also coming up, government's decision to go to the International Monetary Fund (IMF) will help increase the ability of banks to increase lending to the private sector. This is according to the new managing director of the Republic Bank in Ghana. And later on, we'll bring you a report highlighting the struggles startups within the agriculture industry face in order to access a ready market. All that and more coming up in the next 30 minutes. But first, the Mobile Money Agents Association of Ghana wants government to consider an extension of the deadline for the SIM card re-registration exercise. According to the association, the mobile money business will be negatively affected should government go ahead to implement the July 31 deadline. Government has set July 31 to be the deadline for all persons to re-register their SIM cards with their Ghana cards, though many people are still having challenges with acquiring their Ghana cards, which is a requirement for the exercise. General Secretary of the association, Evans Otumfo, believes extending the deadline to the first quarter of 2023 would give an ample time for most users to have their SIM card updated with their Ghana cards.
Should government really go ahead with this particular directive, then it means that a lot of businesses are going to be impacted. The telcos will be impacted. Mobile money agents who leverage on this huge market will be affected or impacted negatively. We will call that government should actually put in another extension, probably if from now to maybe early next year. I think it will be a reasonable time period for government to actually crack the whip with regards to persons who might be feeling reluctant or adamant to have their SIM cards regularized.
We now head to the House of the Legislature because Parliament has approved a $1.3 billion cocoa syndicated loan. The funds will be utilized for the purchase of cocoa beans for the 2022-2023 crop season. The approval is annual procedure for the House that makes funds available to the Ghana Cocoa Board to carry out its mandate in the cocoa value chain in the country. Here's the Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak and Deputy Majority Leader Alexander Afenyo Marking making submissions during the debate in the House.
I will urge this House to insist that at the minimum 50% of the LID must be set aside in order to win ourselves off this syndication. If we have difficulty setting money aside without touching the money, then, Mr. Speaker, from year to year, whatever money is needed for purchase, the living income differential inflow should be deducted, at least a percentage should be deducted from the quantum, so that over a period of 5 years, we will no longer need a syndicated loan to buy cocoa. Any member in this chamber rise on his feet and challenge me on my submission that fertilizer prices have not shot up. Can anybody challenge me when I submit that the cost of agrochemicals have shot up on the world market? And if this is happening, are we saying that Cocoa Board is immune? Cocoa Board is not affected? As for Cocoa Board, it is experiencing a special dispensation? No. So we should put the argument in context, but not to condemn. So, Mr. Speaker, may the House carry this report to enable Cocoa Board proceed with that which is mandated to do for the Ghanaian farmer.
Let's just stay in the House because Parliament has approved the Income Tax Amendment Bill. The amendment is to exempt transactions on the capital market in the country from the payment of taxes. There's more in the following report.
The rationale for the Income Tax Amendment Bill was outlined on the floor of Parliament by the Chairman of the Finance Committee, Kweku Kwating, who considered the amendment.
Officials from the Ministry of Finance and officers also from the Ghana Revenue Authority appeared before your committee to help us consider this. It is essentially had two items that they wanted to amend in the existing Income Tax Act. The committee reviewed the two items and considered that the first clause was inconsistent with the exemptions bill that this House has passed, and accordingly, when we get to the consideration stage, I will be proposing an amendment. But otherwise, the committee had no issue with the bill and we recommend to the House to support it and pass it into law.
The ranking member on the Finance Committee, Keso Latuforsen, however, was skeptical about the component affecting the capital markets.
We are taxing the ordinary Ghanaian to pay taxes. We are encouraging them to pay taxes. So please, Mr. Speaker, we support this, but when we get to that clause, Mr. Speaker, we've all agreed that we will delete that clause because we believe that it is not in the best interest of the country. Money, everybody must contribute their widow's mite. The rich man must contribute, same as the poor man is being called upon, to even pay taxes through e-levy. Mr. Speaker, we cannot accept that. While the ordinary person is paying taxes, the person who is contributing or earning income through the stock market should not be paying taxes. Mr. Speaker, I submit, taxes must not be regressive, it must be progressive. And since it's progressive, the one making more money must pay.
If assented to, the Income Tax Amendment Bill is expected to boost the operations of the stock exchange.
Now, the new managing director of the Republic Bank PLC has stated that government's decision to go to the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, to seek an economic assistance will go a long way to help increase the ability of banks to increase lending to priority sectors of the economy. Despite data showing that many sectors of the economy are recovering from the pandemic, businesses are still grappling with cash flow as they are unable to honor their loan obligations because of the challenging economic conditions. The following report has more details.
Ghana is seeking economic assistance from the International Monetary Fund as part of a broader effort to quicken the country's build back in the face of challenges induced by the COVID-19 pandemic and recently the Russia-Ukraine crisis. The move comes on the back of a multiplicity of issues affecting Ghana's economy, including a worsening public debt situation, rising inflation which has risen to about 30% in June this year, high fuel prices, city depreciation, among others. The new managing director of Republic Bank Ghana PLC, Benjamin Joboku, said government's decision to go to the IMF will go a long way to help increase the ability of banks to increase lending to priority sectors of the economy. Though credit to the private sector is recovering to pre-pandemic levels, according to recent data from the Bank of Ghana, businesses are still grappling with cash flow as they are unable to honor their loan obligations because of the challenging economic conditions. Also, most private sector loans taken from banks to undertake government projects have still not been paid. In an interview with Citi Business News, Managing Director of Republic Bank Ghana PLC, Benjamin Joboku, noted that the move will boost the confidence of banks and ensure they lend more to the private sector.
We don't have any option than to go. That will actually instill some kind of discipline and then investors' confidence in the economy. Now the investors they lost confidence because we are not disciplined enough as a country. Currently, if you are a managing director and you have a lot of exposure in government securities, then you must be thinking of taking haircuts. Because if the government cannot pay, it means that you have to make provision for all that money you put in the government securities. But with IMF, we should maintain some kind of discipline, because we decided that we will not be disciplined enough as a country, as leaders and managers of the economy. Then you need somebody to come and discipline you to do the right thing. With that, there will be confidence. And then the banks can also do their work well, because if you realize that I mentioned the construction sector, people did a lot of work for the government, but they are yet to be paid. So those banks that gave out those loans, they must make provision. And that is also affecting the bottom line. But if you have somebody who will discipline you to do the right thing because we don't want to do the right thing, at least that will maintain some level of confidence for the banks to give her more credit to at least enhance that confidence that we need and for the economy to grow.
He also described the stay of the policy rate at 19% by the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank as a reasonable step, as the move will ensure some stability in the inflation rate.
I think that's the best thing they have done since they've started discussion with IMF. And then the government, they also got approval from Parliament for the 750. You need to wait and see reaction in the economy, because when you increase the policy rate, it means that you want to increase the lending rate again, and you also distort the economy. So it is the best decision that the governor and his team took, just to see how people will react to this going to IMF, and then the government get the approval from Parliament. And if this will not help, then you have to call an emergency meeting and see the way forward. But I think it's the best decision that the governor and his team did.
You're still watching the Business Dashboard on Citi TV. Still ahead, we'll bring you a report highlighting the struggles startups within the agriculture industry face in order to access ready market. Details coming up shortly. You're welcome back. Now, access to a ready market continues to be a barrier for startups in the agribusiness sector in Ghana. Startups mostly established and owned by the youth in the agriculture value chain can innovate and bring out products that can compete internationally. However, getting the ready market remains a major challenge. These concerns were highlighted at the Youth in Agribusiness organized by the John Agyekum Kufuor Foundation in the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi. Citi News' Ashanti Regional correspondent Hafiz Tijani reports.
Varieties of products by young people in agribusiness are showcased here at the Prempeh Assembly Hall in Kumasi. These products undoubtedly can compete in Ghanaian markets and even foreign ones. But persons behind these products enumerate some of the challenges threatening their businesses. A major challenge for them is access to a ready market for their products.
Our biggest challenge is the access to markets, especially when you bring a new product out to the markets. People don't want to believe, especially I remember when there was Ghana Enterprise Agency had women in business seminar or so. The CEO was surprised I was able to do a take-it-berry tea, but she was asking how possible. You understand? She was asking how possible. Our biggest challenge is access to market is one. And two, sometimes getting the raw material is also another challenge we have.
The challenges we are facing now is how to get the consumers, because gari is considered as ordinary gari. So people don't patronize as compared to rice and other things. So our challenges, what we need is we want customers to value the food as a food.
The John Agyekum Kufuor Foundation believes modernizing agriculture must start with young people and is thus using the Agri-Business Festival to target the youth to whip up their interests. Jeffrey Ajimandia is the convener of the Youth in Agri-Business Festival.
It's a gradual shift. I would say that it's not really a drastic in terms of the anticipated number of young people that we want in the agribusiness sector. But I think that two key reasons why young people don't show some level of interest in the agribusiness sector is the fact that we have the image problem that we are suffering. Quite apart from that, they have not also seen quite a number of young people that are very successful in the agribusiness sector because they need something to jump on. And that is what we are showcasing here at the Youth in Agribusiness Festival.
The National Entrepreneurship and Innovative Program, NIP, spoke on initiatives to help Ghanaian youth who are in agriculture.
So NEIP from our side, over the years, even if you look at the support we give, 30% of the, about 36% of the support have gone into agriculture. So through the Ghana Cares or Batampa program, we galvanize and run a program known as the Youth in Innovative Agriculture. And amazingly, over 25,000 young people applied. And last month, all the 25,000 went to training, and we built their capacity in various forms and how to be able to run innovative agriculture for the current crop of young farmers.
The startups are calling for government support.
Yes, if we get people that would supply us with our raw materials, we'll be happy to make work easy for us. And if the government will also help some of us, the youth, we don't want a job, we don't want money, we want access to markets. If they can connect us to where to get the market, because especially with the bigger supermarkets, if you don't know anybody, no one will take your products.
Another thing we need here right now is partnership in order to promote the Agri-Business.
The Maiden Festival on the theme Youth in Agri-Business in Ghana, the story so far and the way forward offered startups in agri-business the opportunity to showcase their products.
Now, the head of the economic regulation at the National Petroleum Authority, Abbas Ibrahim Tasunti, says the NPA is expecting further fuel price reduction at the pumps from the 1st of August 2022 following reduction in prices of fuel and diesel on the world market. Abbas Ibrahim Tasunti, who was speaking to Citi Business News on the sidelines of an NPA media interaction in Takoradi, assured that the NPA would be monitoring from the pumps to see if fuel stations are complying with the pricing formula in changing their fuel prices.
The fuel price changes are influenced by changes on the world markets and the exchange rate in particular. We've seen reductions at the pumps over the past 1 month purely because the world market prices have dropped. In the next window in which we are going into, like I showed in the presentation, you observe that the price of petrol on the world market has gone down again. The diesel has also gone down, and therefore we expect some price reductions at the pump in the next window, which starts from the 1st of August. With regards to the level of reduction, also because with deregulated pricing, the percentage changes will vary from company to company. Remember that currently the price of fuel is not the same at for every oil marketing company, and therefore you cannot expect the same percentage change for every oil marketing company. So what we do as the regulator is that because we expect the price reductions, we will allow the marketers to make their price changes, and as we do all the time, we will monitor and see whether they follow the pricing formula in changing their prices. To the getting value for money at the pumps, we want to make sure that you get the right quantity for what you pay. First of all, the Ghana Standards Authority calibrates every dispensing pump at a filling station, and they put seals on these pumps to make sure that they are not tampered with. In case anybody even tampers with these seals, there's also the 10-liter can that is provided at the filling station. This helps to confirm the quantity you get. So as a consumer, when you go to a filling station and you suspect that the products you are not getting the right quantity, you have to insist on the 10-liter can to be used to check whether you are getting the right quantity. What you do is that when the 10-liter can is brought in, the station will pump 10 liters from the dispenser into that can, and you should measure 10 liters in the can. If it is below the 10-liter mark on the can, it means you are getting lower value, and you can report that to the National Petroleum Authority.
You're still watching the Business Dashboard on Citi TV. Still ahead, MSMEs in the country urged to take advantage of government's interventions to grow their businesses. Details coming up shortly. You're welcome back to the Business Dashboard. Let's do more stories now. And the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, in partnership with the Institute of ICT Professionals Ghana, is advocating sustained coding education for children across the country. The call was made on the sidelines of the final workshop of the Institute's Coding Caravan initiative in Chame in the Volta region of Ghana. The caravan, which made initial stops in Apam in the central region and in Sawam in the eastern region, helped train over 600 students and 90 teachers in coding. In an interview with Citi Business News, the Chief Executive Officer of the Telecommunications Chamber, Engineer Dr. Kenneth Ashibes, called for a concerted effort from all stakeholders to ensure programs like the Coding Caravan are supported to help develop the country's human resource capacity.
You know, the teaching of our children, teaching ICT for our children, where they have to memorize how, if you want to print, if you know, basically does not help. You know, the way to be able to teach our children ICT, teach them coding, is this form of teaching. You know, if you consider the fact that we left the regional capitals and we went to these places, and still their level of appreciation of the children, of the challenges that confront them, and some of the ICT and the innovative tools that they can use to solve it, you really see that we have so much potential. But are we really tapping the potentials? No. And so it is important that all of us, you know, the public sector, the private sector, you know, the civil society.
Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Enterprises Agency, Kosi Yankee Aye, is encouraging MSMEs in the country to take advantage of the many government interventions to grow their businesses. According to Madam Yankee Aye, many shy away from such opportunities with the notion that the process is selective and fraught with biases. But she argues that this is on the contrary, and such business owners should be rest assured that they were likely to get the needed financial support as long as they meet the criteria. She spoke to the media on the sidelines of the launch of the Green SME Networking Festivals by GIZ Ghana in Accra.
The challenge is that people assume a lot that they might not get it. But I also want people to believe and trust that in some situations they might, if they have the right tools and the right documentation. Another challenge is that for a lot of people, they don't have the right records. And so they are challenged with applying for some of these programs. And so this is the time and opportunity for them, if you're going to build sustainable businesses, for them to take account of all these documentation and make sure that when opportunities come up, they take advantage of it. I mentioned as well that in Takoradi last week, at the first Estoklu annual entrepreneurship summit that we held, one woman came to give a testimony of how there were a group of 37 and how they applied for funding, and people had told them they weren't going to get it. And out of the 37, about 26 or so of them got the funding. And I think this is really a laudable thing, and it's something that we need to pay close attention with and take advantage of opportunities and build on it. As you know, government is looking at doing more. We're looking at the Youth Start initiative coming up. We're also looking at some other Ghana Jobs and Skills project that the Ghana Enterprises Agency would be rolling out in the coming month.
And this is where we bring down the curtains on today's edition of the Business Dashboard on Citi TV. Our website, citibusinessnews.com, has more information on our top stories and more. Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV. Download the Citi Newsroom app on the Google Play Store or on the App Store and keep updated on the go. You can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and on GoTV channel 182. My name is Kweku Ediama, and so many thanks for watching.